So I'm sure Nintendo is not very happy right now. Here's a picture from New York. Nintendo store windows smashed during everything going on right now in Manhattan. They're not too happy. They also haven't came out and tweeted anything like, hey, we're going to go ahead and help out the people that broke the windows. They've been pretty quiet. A lot of that has to do with them being a Japanese company. They don't really like to get involved in stuff like this and want to stay as quiet as possible so that you keep buying Nintendo Switches. It's probably the better strategy to do, so that way you don't make people on either side of the aisle upset right now. Companies like Sony, though, they're all about taking a stance. As you can see right here, they've been tweeting pretty actively over the past 2 days, talking about how they want to help people out. You broke those Nintendo windows? Don't worry. We're going to do what we can to get you back out there, which is kind of funny. I don't get this. I think this is a really bad move politically and for consumers as well. Very strange as well. They are a Japanese-owned corporation, but here's the thing about Sony. You have to remember that Sony, they moved their entire entertainment division to California. So it's not that shocking. Sony has kind of, in many ways, become an American company with the way they've set themselves up. But usually, companies and people in Japan really don't get too involved with any of this nonsense. I've done a lot of videos showing how really a lot of the entertainment coming out of Japan is really the last bastion of unwoke entertainment that we have. And it's for a lot of reasons. They didn't really get involved in this stuff, and they kind of like to, keep politics out of things. Now, a lot of the people from America will like to tell you that it's different. They'll say, oh, this is not true. They're not like this. They're just as political as we are. Wake up, weebs. Take your anime profile pictures out of your heads and think about the reality of the situation, which isn't true. Okay, we have a really nice thread that I want to go over from this guy right here. Seems like he's just over there doing a lot of education stuff. But he's got a really nice take on a lot of this stuff going on and why you don't hear Japanese companies really speaking out on things right now. And a lot of the things with anime and video games over there and why they don't really get political. So I thought this thread would make for a nice video and figured we could go over it and talk about it. So Twitter is very US-centric. Americans only look at things through a narrow-minded lens and automatically assume that the rest of the world operates the same as they do. People have legitimately gotten angry at me when I say that Japanese generally aren't political. There's some truth to this tweet right here. A lot of these people, particularly the very big woke brigade, and they do run Twitter. Twitter is very US-centric. This is true. And I've talked about this before. Twitter is ran, well, not completely ran, but the trending topics on Twitter are ran by a small handful of people. Okay, and they're usually the NPC woke crowd. And the reason that they run Twitter is because they tweet hundreds of times a day. So you have a small group of people, and they're usually all Americans, every single time. And I don't know why they don't have anything else to do, but they don't. They sit on Twitter, and they tweet hundreds of times a day. And what that causes is they literally are able to move the conversation however they want it. Like right now, Wendy's is over. Wendy's is canceled party or Wendy's is over party is trending on Twitter. And that's because the CEO made a large donation to the president's campaign. And of course, how dare he not push that towards bailouts? So people are tweeting that, and it's literally the same people tweeting it over and over and over and over and over and over again, and that makes it trend, gets a hashtag trending, and then other people see it that are on Twitter because these people have got it trending. So then other people start commenting on it, and that's how stuff moves on Twitter. It's literally a handful of people that are controlling the conversation because they are insane and have nothing else to do all day. So anyway. Let's move on here. People who don't live here or speak the language will highlight a couple of Japanese activists or protest movements and automatically assume that's how the rest of Japan is. You can find a lot of things in a big city if you search. That doesn't mean it's a normal trend. And that's true too. You're always going to find one or two people, but a lot of the times it's people that live in the country that are from America or somewhere else. And these are the people that are getting quoted by, woke weebs over here in America, and that seems to be why they'll take that those one or two tweets from one or two people and say, "Oh, there you go. There's proof. Japan's just as woke as us. You see, that's just this one Twitter account." And this is evidence that all of Japan is woke when that is not the case. It's not the case at all. As much as they want it to be, it's not. There are additionally enough big accounts here run by left-wing American expats who try to push a certain political narrative about Japan. I can assure you that their views are in the minority, and they mostly just surround themselves with people who share the same worldview. And what I find really funny about these people that are from North America and move to Japan or tweet for Japan from America, they always talk about colonizers and how bad the colonizer is. From that, they're referring to particularly people from European nations that colonized other nations hundreds of years ago, and they denounce that. Well, those guys need to get out of those countries. What they don't realize is that they're doing the same thing to Japan, going over there trying to change Japan, trying to change Japan's political views, push their woke stuff on to Japan. And they don't realize they're colonizing Japan by doing that. They used to believe they were changing the nations for the better when they colonized them hundreds of years ago. How is it any different than what you're doing now? We'll say, what's different now? You can't prove a woke person wrong because they always see themselves as champions. They're making the world a better place, all this stuff, when really it's the same line of thought that those people had hundreds of years ago. They never get that. And I always find that incredibly humorous. So, and yes, they do always surround themselves with the same people that have the same worldview. I wonder what people that are from Japan think of these gaijin, and that's the word for outsiders that they have. Like, how do they feel about these woke people over there? Are they intrigued by them? Is that why they keep them around, or are they shunned and they literally only hang out with, other Americans in Japan? I'm curious about that. If anyone in the comments can tell me that, if you're over there for school or something, you have some insight on this, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. When I say Japanese people generally aren't political, that's not saying no one in Japan is political. You simply don't see the same amount of political activism or heated discussions as in America overall. You will rarely lose friends or stop talking to family over politics. And it's crazy. Like, that's a big difference in how it is over here, because people will walk away from their families over politics, which is absolutely ridiculous. And they'll stop being your friend too. It's insane. It's literally just shows you just how insane people are over this stuff. You shouldn't have to ditch family and friends because of having different political opinions. But that's the state of the country for the past couple of years. I put a lot of that blame on the media and their nonsense for sure, because they've done nothing but rile people up for the past 4 years. I think a lot of the stuff going on right now, a lot of the destruction, you can blame directly on the media for their sensationalism and their radical programming. The only times I've really had political arguments in Japan are with other Americans or foreigners in Japan saying you like the orange man will polarize most people. In Japan, hardly anyone cares if you like Abe or vote for the LDP. That's a difference which is hard to ignore. And that's the last of his tweets. And that's how it should be. Okay, you can have discussions, but at the end of the day, you should still be able to come out of it. And if you're friends with that person or just having a conversation with that person, have a beer with them and that be that. But not over here. It's completely different. So I really liked this thread because it shows kind of some insight to why you don't see Nintendo, for example, coming out and talking about, hey, we're going to bail people out that shattered our Windows. Sony is getting pretty active, but Sony's a lot more different than Nintendo, because Sony, the PlayStation brand, is based here in California now. They moved everything here a while ago. I don't remember when they did it. I think it was around 2016 that they moved their whole brand over here. So a lot of the American politics are influenced over there because the majority of the people that work there are American now. So it's a little bit different. And then, one of the reasons why you don't see anime get all woke, it's because they don't have all of these politics in their stuff over there. Now, eventually, as companies like, Funimation get a foothold in business over there, which is happening, I think some of this could change. Most of the entertainment dollars that they have now are, most of it comes from outside of Japan. Most, if not half, so half or a little bit more than half of all revenue from anime or manga come from outside of Japan now. So this could change in the future because, naturally businesses might start to think, oh, this really woke crowd on Twitter is the majority when it is not the majority, and start to get more political. We'll see if that happens or not. I don't know if that will or not. Hopefully it won't. So, you're not going to see Sega come out and say, we're going to bail people out. Nintendo, not going to come out and say that. I'd be really shocked if even Nintendo of America did, because Japan usually keeps them on a leash. And if it did get tweeted out, I bet you it gets deleted real fast. Crunchyroll tweeted something out like this yesterday, and they deleted it. It got deleted. But, of course, it was archived. So, anyway, I don't expect Nintendo to say anything. I expect them to stay neutral and make money. Sony, well, I don't think I'll be buying a PS5. I already decided not to buy a PS5 when the Naughty Dog stuff went down. I will not support Naughty Dog. I don't know how anybody that's a YouTuber especially can support Naughty Dog after what Naughty Dog has done to people on the network, on the network right now. Like, these are still your colleagues, even if you don't like them. And they've actively tried to shut channels down. It's crazy. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on all of this? Please leave some comments. Also, share the video. Throw some likes up. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.